Okay, we continue with cycle number 4, and this time we are looking at Gideon. Um, if last week what we saw was like 900 chariots, formidable enemies that scares us. Today we are looking at something that is within us, the fear within us. Um, you can call it self-doubt, lah, but at the root of it is really a doubt of how much God can really do for us, lah. So that doubt, that fear, becomes so prominent in this story that we see in chapters 6 to 8. Okay, so today I'll just pick up some verses from chapter 6, chapter 7, and we see the broad outline of the story, lah. The people of Israel, not surprising, did evil again in the sight of the Lord. So the Lord gave them into the hand of the Midianite for 7 years. So people are suffering, and of all the potential candidates, God zeroed in on this guy called Gideon, this timid guy, fearful, self-doubt, and definitely he doubts God lah. He doesn't have much faith, and he was doing what he could to cope lah, and to beat out the wheat in a wine press. You don't beat out the wheat in a wine press, unless you are trying to protect it from, all those raiders, the Midianites coming to raid and just snatch your produce from you, lah. So as he was doing that, the angel of the Lord appeared to him and called him, "Oh, mighty man of valor." That was really, you can call it a word of prophecy, lah. A prophecy of what Gideon is capable of becoming. But at this point, it really is what we can say is an irony, because here is a scary person who lacks faith, and you can see subsequently how Gideon tested God. He wanted a sign from God. He wanted to see the fleece getting wet and getting dry, and the floor getting dry and getting wet. So he has a faith issue. He has got a lot of doubts in him. So you will see that God tries to target Gideon exactly where his problem was. So from the size of 32,000 army that he rallied, God really sized down the army to just 300 people, and they got nothing to fight, just some container with some clay, some torch. That's all. That's all they used to fight the battle. And what did they do? They blew the trumpets, 300 people with them. And then what happened was the enemy killed themselves. They killed each other, and then the enemy fled. That was what happened. So what do we see over here? God's telling Gideon, you look at yourself, you will always be inadequate. But just be there and see what God can do. And a lot of times for us, the winning a battle, for God's glory, is simply about being there. It's just about showing up. We may look at ourselves, I got nothing to offer. I have nothing to offer. But just by showing up, and you can see how the Lord works miracles before us. So then recently, of course, you hear Reverend Cheng Huat and Reverend Rodney. They both mentioned the decline of the Scotland Church, and the trajectory just points at a distinction of the church. And you're looking at Singapore, not too far from now, because it may well be us going down that route. I think in some ways we are going down that route. The enemies in every shape and form are just too formidable. What can you do? What can I do? Right? We are just, maybe in us there's a Gideon. There's a Gideon that tells us, what can I do, man? Just a small fry. I just teach Sunday school, or I'm just an ordinary church staff lah. I'm just a member in a small congregation. There are a lot of reasons why we can have those kind of doubts, but at the bottom of it all, I think we must not doubt God. Must not doubt God that the little bit that we think we can do or can't do is irrelevant. All we need to do is to be there, show up when we need to show up, and display the kind of solidarity as we stand with our fellow brothers and sisters, our presence, just merely that, and see how God delivers. I look at the book of First Corinthians, and it's just a book, a letter that Paul wrote to a church that's really divided. Why? Because of a lot of sin in it, lah. So maybe one of the reasons why I think churches are declining is because we never dealt with our sin. Everybody wants to do what's right in his eyes. Yeah, everybody wants to pull, ministries in different direction. That's what happens. So unless we deal with sin in our lives individually, corporately, we are going to face a losing battle. But even then, the little bit that we can do, sometimes just by showing up and see how the Lord delivers, and He can. And we just need to trust in Him. The confidence that we can have is this promise we have in Jesus, that the sting of death is sin, the power of sin is in the law, but thanks to God who gives us victory over our Lord Jesus Christ. Once we overcome sin, we can overcome a lot of disunity, a lot of roadblocks that come in the way as we fight our Christian battles every day. So hopefully this is an inspiration for us as we move forward, especially as a small congregation.